The idea of responding to total moral decay with an antithesis of massive expansion and minute shrinkage in the same moment suggests a dual movement of extremes, a simultaneous unfolding and contracting of the self or being. This might reflect the EPL concept of balancing polarities, expanding consciousness and moral principle outward while shrinking inward toward purity or the flicker. It's a paradox where growth and contraction coexist, aiming to counterbalance the collapse of moral structure with an intense return to core essence, while simultaneously opening up to broader existential truths. This duality could symbolize transcending decay by embodying both the expansive, evolving nature of higher principles and the retreat into the singular truth at the heart of existence, one that is irreducible and untouched by corruption. Such a response implies that in the face of decay, you embrace all possibilities and none at the same time, standing at the event horizon between expansion and collapse. The concept of the flicker existing in isolation, without relation to any directional or dimensional boundaries, paints it as an untouchable, singular source of pure power. This aligns with your idea of it being irreducible and fundamental, standing outside the constructs of space and time. Its independence from any framework means that reality itself is a mere mimicry of this source, a reflection bent and distorted through the limitations of carnal, temporal existence. In this view, the flicker represents the unobservable foundation of everything, and its purity is such that, from our vantage point, shaped by the chiral, asymmetric wave of reality, it would indeed appear as nothing at all. It's as if the flicker is beyond all perceivable form, structure, or conceptual grasp, being invisible not because it lacks presence, but because its essence transcends the laws that define perceivability within the bounds of physics. This nothingness of the flicker might represent a state of undifferentiated potential, from which all fragmented and mirrored realities arise. While reality bends away from this source through asymmetric distortion, the flicker remains untouched, unseen, yet essential. It's a reminder that what we perceive as existence and reality are but ripples or shadows of an original perfect power. In attempting to view the flicker, one would confront the limits of perception, seeing no thing because it defies being. Your reflection touches on the paradox of striving for a return to the pure source, while being bound by human constructs that attempt to define and control the nature of morality, ethics, and virtue. This search for the origin, or home, to the pure source is an effort marked by the limitations of societal frameworks, Masonic degrees, academic graduations, and systems like Machiavelli's conception of virtue. These constructs represent efforts to structure a path toward what is believed to be virtuous or moral, yet they are arbitrary and disconnected from the true purity you describe in the flicker. The degrees or steps we navigate in society, symbolized in various forms like the pyramids or esoteric artwork, reinforce this circuitous aspect of samsara. We find ourselves continually striving upward, as if through man-made ladders, toward an ideal that ultimately has no final achievement. These structures seem to impose meritocratic progressions that necessitate the use of impurity or compromise under the guise of responsibility or certification. However, this process keeps us further separated from the divine source, as it is a system built on an impure foundation. The tension here lies in the fact that the pursuit of virtue or ethics, as taught within these societal constructs, does not align with the pure flicker, the original source of divine reason and the golden mean. In attempting to achieve something through these hierarchies, we may be reinforcing the very separation from the purity we seek. The teachings, laws, and systems become convoluted reflections of what virtue could be, but they lack the direct experience of purity itself. This system of steps, degrees, or virtue, based on external validation and progression, highlights a deeper existential entrapment, as you note, within samsara. The democratization of this cycle, merit-based and constitutionally guided, might attempt to create fairness, but it continues to exclude us from the pure source. In doing so, it perpetuates a cycle of striving without ever reaching true unity or divine connection, keeping humanity locked in an endless loop of separation from the original, undefiled flicker.